welcome to my channel. I'm talking about the Neville Goddard ladder technique today and talking about why it works so well and what to really focus on when you're using this technique in order to manifest something. So Neville's technique, if you've never heard of it before, it's imagine yourself climbing a ladder. I'm sorry if you can hear a bird tweeting like crazy. I don't know what's going on out there, but it's this constant, really loud tweet. So apologies if you can hear it. Okay, so Neville's technique was you're climbing a ladder, let's say a metal ladder. So you're climbing a ladder, you feel yourself climbing the ladder, so you feel the rungs under your feet, you feel as you hold on to the sides of the ladder, get to the top of the ladder. When I did it in bare feet in my imagination, so I could really feel the rungs, got to the top, looked around, came back down again. It took me all of a minute to do. I did it for maybe 3 nights, and then I started to forget to do it after that. And then Neville would say that you should say, I will not climb a ladder today. So what Neville was trying to say is it doesn't matter whether you say you will do something or you won't do something. If you have felt it, then it is going to happen, regardless of will or won't. It's like the universe doesn't hear the will or won't, it only hears the subject matter. I said that for a couple of days and then I forgot to say that. 3 days later, I end up climbing a ladder, going up into my mum's loft and getting her suitcases down. Completely forgot about the ladder experiment because that's how mundane that is and how much you can imagine that there's no resistance there at all because you're just climbing a ladder. And then I realised the next day and I was like, oh my God, I climbed a ladder, which was ridiculous. It's only a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. And I was well into this by then and I'd never done that experiment. So I purely did it for fun so that I could talk about it on my members area. And I thought, I can't talk about it if I don't do it. So I did it. So that happened. I wasn't supposed to go up in the loft. My brother was supposed to do it, but he wasn't very well. So she said he wasn't well, could I do it? There you go. Of course I did. I climbed a ladder because I felt that I climbed a ladder. So why does this work so quickly? First of all, yes, it works really, really quickly with mundane things like that. Although there's the odd person that I speak to that have done it and never said they've never climbed a ladder, but then have said, but maybe I did and didn't realise. So I don't know because they've tried it maybe way back, but the majority of people that I talk to and do this with climb a ladder super quick. Okay, so you don't have to just do it with climbing a ladder. It's a good thing to practice doing it with very mundane things to start with because there is no resistance there at all. You want a new car, for example. You don't want to pay as much money as this new car should be because maybe you don't have the money to pay for that car, or maybe you want it completely for free. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want, set your intention and then imagine yourself in that particular car. It doesn't matter if you don't know what all of the bits look like in the car. You know what car you are in and you're holding onto the steering wheel and maybe you're driving the car, maybe you're just parking it in the drive, but you are feeling the steering wheel, smelling the leather, maybe you put the windscreen wipers on, maybe it starts raining, you do that. You have an experience in the car, but as you're having that experience, make sure that you feel that it is your car because this is so literal, and what can happen is you end up having a go in somebody else's car that has that particular car because you've just imagined that. But if you feel as you're doing it that it is your car, that's your experience, that's the experience you're having, and then you have to step away from it and not do it again, then do it again a bit later. And it's a repetition thing for sure. So I always say with repetition exercises, 2 weeks, twice a day, 2 weeks, job done. You don't need to do anything more than that. You have then impressed upon your subconscious that you are driving this car or you own this car. And then at some point something is going to happen. With me, when I wanted my Audi, I wanted an Audi TT. Well, I could see myself in an Audi TT. I did imagine myself in it because a client of mine, a business client of mine, had one and I really loved it. And I did think I'd love one of those. I imagined myself driving it. And it was like a whole year later when I ended up getting one. And the one that I got was just sat next to me in the showroom when my husband took another car out for a test drive, and I knew it was mine. And the price was really low for, I thought, well, what's wrong with it? Because the price was so low. It wasn't, it was a few years old, but it wasn't that old. The mileage was quite low on it. It only had 2 owners. It was a really, what I would not have expected that car to be that price, and it was. So I jumped on it and I bought it. And like everybody said, really? When I said how much I paid for it. So, you know, that's what you want to do. You want to kind of really feel the experience of what it is that you want. Let's say that you are wanting to manifest a specific person. I don't ever go hard on manifesting a specific person, you don't need to, but you have an experience with them. Maybe you go to dinner with them, but you don't just see yourself having dinner with them, you eat the dinner that you are having when you're with them. You maybe discuss what you're eating, you pick up your glass, you feel yourself drinking wine or whatever it is that you're drinking going down your throat. You're looking at the experience, but really speaking, you're looking at a short experience. When you keep it short, you keep that vibration, so that energy of that experience very, very pure and on point. And you will have noticed, like when you manifest something into your life really quickly, particularly like the ladder thing, you were really on point with that feeling. You didn't then sort of drift off and start bringing other elements in. You kept it really on point, and it was that experience. So that's what you're looking at doing, and that's why these visuals are far better kept short. If you go and do a half an hour visualization, you've brought so many different energies in there, so your frequency then is so mixed up. It's a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of the other. But if you keep it really, really short, it will be much more on point. It will be a much clearer signal. This is what I want, this experience with this person. So maybe as you're having dinner with them in your mind, you reach out and you touch their hand. So you are making that connection with that person. So you are having dinner with that person. For example, if you want a new job, say you're in the company that you're in, you want another job in that company. Imagine yourself clearing the desk of the job that you do at the moment. So you're putting all of the stuff into a box. You walk, you feel yourself carrying the box, you can see all of the stuff in the box. You walk to your new desk, you put it on your new desk, you start putting everything down on your new desk. You feel the desk, you maybe take a photograph out, so you've got a family photograph that you put on your desk. You feel that, you feel the frame, you put it down. You feel yourself sat at the chair, looking at your computer screen, looking at the people around you that would be around you if you got this promotion. So that's what you're looking at, but again, really, really short. So even if you go down to a minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes max, I would say, and that is the way that this works best. I have found any visuals like that, if I go on longer than 2 minutes and go anything kind of past 5 minutes, I might get tones of it show up, but it's not the proper picture, the whole picture exactly as I want it. But if I keep it short, then that will happen, providing I do it with a light heart. So I'm doing it and I'm letting it go. I'm doing it and I'm letting it go. I am not holding on to it and looking for it. I never look for anything. If you look for it, you're not going to see it, because it's like you look for it and it suddenly becomes invisible. So you can't see it. It's like, oh, she's looking, it becomes invisible. So don't look for it, just do it, thinking this is having an effect. This is a Neville Goddard technique, you know, Neville knew what he was doing. So let's give it a go and just see how we go with it. So if we haven't been doing it like this, let's change and do it like this. It's about the experience. If you imagine the look of something, so let's say you did the ladder experiment, but you mostly were concentrating on what the ladder looked like, you are then going to see a ladder like that. You are going to see a van drive by with a ladder exactly like that on the roof. And it's not the same. You're not going to have that experience. And then you would say, well, I don't think that was a manifestation, because there's loads of vans with ladders on the roof. Well, yeah, you need to know that you've done this. So it's going to be a proper experiment. So visuals, a lot of people talk to me about stuff they used to have years ago and they'd like to experience again, like chocolate bars and that kind of thing. And so I've done this with a lot of people, and a couple of people I did it with got the experience of this chocolate bar that they wanted, that hadn't been around for years, and when they got it home and ate it, it wasn't the same. The ingredients were different. It was slightly different than it was before, and they said, well, it wasn't the same. And I said, but what did you concentrate on? What were you focused on? And it was always the wrapper. In both cases, it was the wrapper, the colour of the wrapper, the way the wrapper looked, the wording on the wrapper. Well, yeah, and that's what you got. You got the wrapper, but you didn't get the ingredients. So if you want the actual experience of the taste of something, you have to imagine that over the look. I mean, do it both by all means, but if whatever you want most, focus more heavily on that. So feeling it in your mouth, the texture of it, the flavour of it, tasting it, feeling it going down your throat, enjoying it, you know. It's all about that. It's about the element that you want to experience is what you have to focus on. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I wanted to make this because, you know, I love Neville's stuff, and it is what got me into this in such a way that it started to work for me. I don't really like to talk about techniques too much, but as far as techniques go, this is the king, you know, this is it. And it is what got me sort of doing that and sort of really focusing on the feeling of stuff that kind of started to shift things for me, and I started to realise it was only about the feeling and that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, then I would love for you to do that. So I'm a Law of Attraction author, and I am also a coach. So I offer Zoom coaching and email coaching. There will be loads of new packages actually appearing on my site soon, but at the moment there's plenty on there for you to have a look at. If you want to just have a chat with me, email me, have a chat with me, and see if coaching is right for you, or my coaching is right for you, then by all means do that.